I've been trying to get this started for a while now, a series that is dedicated to reminding those why you shouldn't jump in on a game just because it has a certain name or game style you like, or any reason other than that you buy anything. We need these reminders so we don't act like someone that dumped a significant other over terrible atrocities only for a thought to appear down the line, making you think it wasn't as bad as you thought, and then you get back together and realize that it really was that bad and they picked up a few more bad habits to go along with it. What I'm trying to say is, we shouldn't be trying to get back in bed with Konami just because they made another Metal Gear game. With that in mind, this is the first of a series called Do Not Pre-Order, or in this case, Do Not Buy, where I remind you of the pains caused by the company in question. So here we go with Do Not Buy Konami Games Metal Gear Survive Edition. And no, this is not a Konami game showing. This is the Red Strings Club, an excellent adventure game revolving around a bartender that was released last month. If you don't like what you're hearing, you can always focus on the pretty pictures. Plus, of course, Konami is notorious for taking down videos with their properties. Anyways. Over the past 5 to 6 years, Konami Digital Entertainment, the gaming arm of the much larger and profitable Konami Holdings Corporation, has been in a downward spiral. The company has seen its console offerings dwindle to merely a couple each year, featuring Pro Evolution Soccer, Yu-Gi-Oh!, and whatever baseball thing they make for Japan. This happened because of a focus on mobile, stemming from the success of titles like Dragon Collection. From there, the writing was on the wall. Konami veterans like Koji Igarashi, director on the Castlevania series, Akari Uchida, producer behind dating sims Tokimeki and Love Plus, Takayuki Fuji,
1 million troops. Extreme. Not funny.
and Metal Gear creator Hideo Kojima would all find themselves leaving Konami, one way or another. And in their places, no one really. Konami hasn't really focused on making anything of their properties, unless of course, it's for pachinko. Of course, this isn't just about a change in focus we're talking about. The crimes that Konami committed against its own employees makes it worth leaving behind. The working conditions were so unprofessional for a tech company that it was described as such. On your first working day at Konami, you would not be given any necessary materials to do any work, i.e. a computer. You will not be given a business email, so you'd be forced to make one at Hotmail, which you would then be forced to use in your company-related emails until Konami finally got around to giving you one themselves. You would be unable to make requests for anything because you still wouldn't be in the system, and, to top it off, no one would be allowed to sympathize with you, more than likely out of fear that you would be forced to work with Iga cleaning bathrooms. Oh yeah, anyone considered useless would be moved to menial labor, such as janitorial work, which is what is rumored to have happened to those like Igarashi, who thankfully has moved on and is making a new Castlevania-like game. Kojima should consider himself lucky. He was merely removed from his executive position at Konami and made a contracted worker before Metal Gear Solid 5 was finished. And then getting into a fight over insurance for the new Kojima Productions with a director at Konami who just happened to be the person at the insurance company that needed to approve them. And while I could talk about the blackballing they force on any former employee, I need to save some things for whenever Konami tries to release another non-PES game. Meanwhile, on the sales and marketing front, unless your franchise was Metal Gear Solid, Konami didn't care. New Little King's story wasn't given any acknowledgement of release until a few days after it was out. Blades of Time shipped so few copies that Tak Fuji was ashamed when he couldn't find it in stores. Silent Hill had the Month of Madness in 2012, where Downpour and the HD Collection cannibalized each other's sales when they were released in the same month on the same consoles. There were some bright spots. Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes was a great proof of concept of what was to come for a $30 price tag of what was essentially an hour-long demo. The playable teaser for Silent Hills was great, until it was cancelled and PT removed from PSN. And Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain was one of the best games of 2015, and included a mechanic that forced you to pay real money for base insurance. Which brings us to Metal Gear Survive, the first Metal Gear game from Konami since the firing of Kojima. And even before the release, it was a mess as reviewers couldn't play the game due to the servers not opened and the game needing to be online. And when people were actually allowed to play, the game turned out to be nothing more than a lazy zombie survival game. But wait, there's more. The game is $40 at retail. However, with Konami being Konami, that price is just the base game. The game requires $10 worth of survival coins to unlock exploration units that will search locations and obtain items you can't normally get. And that's $10 per unit, with 4 units so far. Want to create another character? Too bad. Unless you fork over another $10 worth of survival coins per character save for up to 3 additional saves. So that brings this $40 game to just about $110 in order to get the proper experience. And that doesn't even include cosmetic DLC that will nickel and dime you. The game is bad, and the microtransactions make things even worse. It's not worth getting to play. There's plenty of better survival games out there. It's not worth getting to show support for the series. Konami will not care, and Kojima will not come back. He has a great thing going on with Sony right now. Metal Gear Survive isn't worth it. I've heard some reviewers call this the Star Wars Battlefront of 2018. I'll go one better. Konami is Japanese EA. Do not buy this game. But do buy the Red Strings Club. It is very good.